Hi everyone! You guys know how much I love going to the thrift store and I love thrifting, and sometimes, especially lately when I'm at the thrift store, I come across other people's DIY projects that seem to have gone a bit south. So for this week's video, I really wanted to challenge myself to salvaging other people's DIY fails and see if I can give them a new, fresh life that suits my personal home decor aesthetic. With that being said, let's get into our first DIY project. So I have been dying to get my hands on a woven rattan jug. These are sold on so many high-end home decor sites. So when I came across these ones for just 30 cents a piece, I was really excited to try out a new method of removing wax. I have had so many issues with wax myself in the past, and what's the best way to really get rid of it and clean the surface that the wax is stuck onto. So I have found that the best way to do it, as long as it can fit in your freezer, is to freeze that surface for about 2 to 3 hours prior to removing the wax itself. Prior to doing this little freezing hack, I would typically soak whatever I was working on in warm or hot water to kind of melt the wax off. However, what I found is that it kind of leaves this residue on the glass no matter how many times you try to clean it. I've also used Goo Gone to try to remove the wax. That's also not worked very well. And overall, I felt that this technique worked the best because I was able to remove a lot of the wax at one time without making even more mess. And it probably only took me 20 minutes to do both of the jugs, which is way faster than anything I've ever tried before. And most importantly, I was able to salvage the bottom piece of this jug, which was what I really wanted to keep because it's kind of unusual to find this at the thrift store. So I really wanted to make sure I maintained the integrity of that rattan wrapping on the bottom half while removing kind of like the messy part on top. And the little bits that I wasn't able to remove, that part I did soak in some soapy water. And for just 60 cents, this is how they came out. For the next project, I've really been wanting to make a Ruffle Bowl, and I couldn't figure out the best way to do it. And then I came across this old record someone had DIY'd and transformed into a little bowl. So I've never done this DIY myself, so I can't say which way is the best, but there are so many tutorials on Pinterest that you guys can find to get to this stage of the DIY, because you might not find a bowl already done like this made out of a record, but you definitely can find records at the thrift store. And as some of you might know, we recently bought a new house and we are in the process of painting that house. So I have tons and tons of samples left over from what we've decided upon. So I decided to use White Dove and some baking soda mixture. But first, before I paint it with that mixture, I want to just give it a once over with some just flat white spray paint by Rust-Oleum, just so my paint doesn't have to work as hard and I don't have to do as many coats. And after the spray paint had dried, I just pretty much wanted to mix enough of the paint with baking soda mixed up, so it was like pretty much the consistency of like pancake batter. So at first I'm using this brush that is way too big for the scale of this project, so I quickly realized that I would never be able to get into the crevices using this brush, and then also it was giving like a bristly sort of texture that I didn't want. So then I quickly switched over to a foam, much smaller brush, and that seemed to work out just perfect. In total, I did 2 coats on the inside of the bowl and 3 coats on the outside of the bowl, just to make sure that everything was fully covered. And then I did want to spackle over that little hole at the bottom from where the record was, just so it looked more complete in the end. And because I had all the other supplies, this little Ruffle Bowl only cost me 50 cents. One thing I've really been wanting to make for styling in my home is a vintage wood riser. And I was at a garage sale over the summer and I found this little stool here, and she had it tagged for $5 and I offered her $3 and she took it. She said that her mom had DIY'd this stool many times, many years ago, and she didn't have a place for it, so that's why she's getting rid of it. Now, the fabric on top actually wasn't too bad. I was in a weird way kind of into it, but it was falling apart, so I did decide to remove it in the end. But I loved the small little legs. That was the selling point for me, was these little legs. So after I removed the foam on top, I realized that the top piece was probably at some point a new project for her, and decided I wanted to do something different for my top piece. I have so much luck finding wooden rounds at the thrift store, and they're always so affordable. And this one actually came from Target, but they only tagged it for $2.99. So I decided, because my top piece was round, I really wanted it to only have 3 legs. Before I attach the legs, I just wanted to give a quick sand to that top piece, just because there was quite a few scuff marks on there, and I just wanted it to be nice and smooth, and then I'll restain it after the legs are attached. For the next step, you could be really methodical and kind of make sure that these are all exactly the same distance apart, but I just kind of eyeballed this step because I didn't want it to be perfect. I kind of wanted it to be a little haphazard in a way, but still stable. And once I kind of got a general idea of where the legs needed to be placed in order for it to stand up completely straight, I just took a pencil and I just made the markings of where I'm going to need to replace those screws that I removed from that little stool. One thing I really loved about these legs was more so the plates, because it gave you the option to have them angle outwards if you wanted to, or if you want to have them come straight down. And because of the nature of this project, I did decide to have them angle outwards, just because I felt that that looked more similar to what I wanted my riser to look like in the end. And now I'm just going in with my drill and placing the screws in the markings that I made with my pencil earlier. And some of those screws were a little bit stripped, so I did have to use my just typical flathead screwdriver to really get in there and complete the project. And for just $6, I have a partially vintage wood riser. So for the final project, I've really been wanting to make a pin board. Pin boards are great for little kid spaces, entryways, offices. There's so much you can do with them, but every time I find one at the thrift store, they're always damaged in some way. And this one was DIY'd because I can tell by how it was installed. Also, I picked up this frame for just $2 that had this artwork inside. It's not particularly my favorite, but I loved the oval shape. So the first thing I had to do was just remove that back piece from the oval frame, taking my screwdriver and removing those screws, but making sure to keep them for later because I'll need them in the end. And then I just removed that glass piece as well because I won't be needing it, as it's going to be cork now instead. For the fabric, I actually picked up this one at the thrift store for just $2, and I could have done something neutral, but I wanted to have a little bit more fun with it, so I decided to go with plaid. So the first thing that I did was I just kind of laid the fabric out on top of the artwork just to kind of get a general idea of how much of the fabric I was actually going to need, and then cutting it down to size, giving me enough room just in case I messed up. And then taking that glass piece from the oval artwork, I'm just taking a pen and tracing around, obviously avoiding the parts in the corkboard that were damaged. And in order to be able to cut out what I just traced, I needed to remove that cork piece from the frame itself. And so I just had to take some staples out and the screws out from the back that someone had placed previously. And now I'm just taking my fabric scissors and I'm just cutting around what I just traced. So you could totally stop here, but I wanted to give this corkboard, pin board, an elevated look, and I think adding fabric always looks good on top of pin boards. So I, like I said earlier, decided to go with a plaid fabric that I picked up from the thrift store. So I'm just kind of placing the corkboard down on top of where the picture was, so I didn't have to ruin the picture or anything. In case if I ever wanted to go back to it, I could. And I just wanted to see how that plaid was going to lie on top of the corkboard. But before I attached the fabric to the corkboard, I just kind of wanted to take my iron over it to make sure there weren't going to be any wrinkles. This was definitely an interesting sort of upholstery project because typically I would take my staple gun out and just go around the perimeter of this oval. However, because the back was styrofoam, I wasn't able to do that. So I just very carefully but strategically placed some hot glue so then that way it would be secured underneath this frame. I did decide to paint that gold plastic oval frame in a matte black, and to attach it to the wall, I had some leftover curtain rings. So I took one of the curtain rings and removed the clip, as well as this small leather strap, and I just hot glued that to the back of the hanging piece. Just to give it a more finished look, I had some extra pins, so I decided to stick one pin through the top of that leather piece, and for just $7, I have a new and improved pin board. And that is all that I have for you guys today. I love how each one of these came out. Make sure you tell me down in the comments which one was your favorite. And it is actually amazing that for under $15, I was able to create 4 different home decor pieces for my home that suit my home, and was able to give these DIY fails a new life. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye.